interneters, welcome back to another pin spinning video. And so today we're going to be learning the Neo Bak. And so Drew, he suggested this pin trick a while back ago, and I'm just finally getting to it now. And so there's some other suggestions that are really old, like this one for example. I'll do my best to get to all the pin suggestions as soon as possible, but if you have left us suggestions before and I haven't gotten to it yet and it's been a long time, please feel free to leave it again down in this video just so that it will remind me. And so for the Neo Bak, it's almost similar to the index background. And so you could kind of say that the Neo Bak is a variation between the index background. The only difference between those two is that the Neo Bak, it spins on top of your fingers. So it's kind of like a top spin trick, while the index background, it spins across your index finger. And so when I'm doing the Neo Bak or learning how to do Neo Bak, it takes me back to the time when I first posted a video on my channel, which was the shadow pin trick, which is kind of similar to this in some ways, but it's not really. Let's get right into it. How the Neo Bak work is you want to take the pin and hold it between your index and your middle finger, and you use your thumb as support. And then from there, you will want to flick your wrist. And as you're flicking your wrist in the pin spin, you want to turn your hand palm down, and the pin will spin on top of your fingers roughly about 1.5 times. And then from there, you just lift up your thumb, and then the pin will slide into slot 1 and 2. And so now that we know how the Neo Bak works, let's get right into it. I know what you're thinking. Whoa, that was your first attempt and that was like few seconds in and you already caught the Neo Bak when you first shot? No. What really happened was this, is that when I'm doing the pin spin, it was actually me doing the index background, because I'm used to doing the index background, so having the pin spin across my index finger was pretty much like muscle memory, like how it was similar to the other pin trick that I did on my last video. And so that's what you saw. It wasn't the Neo Bak. I wish it was, because it would have been a lot easier if that really happened, and it would have saved a lot of time. And so yeah, that was one of the main problems that I face when I'm learning the Neo Bak, is actually having the pin spin across my index finger and not on top of, to actually do the Neo Bak. And so what you saw here, this was technically my first catch and me doing the Neo Bak. I savored it. I savor it now, because that first catch will be the only catch until a very long time. So in total, I spent close to about 30 minutes in learning the Neo Bak so far. And so for the improvement, there was like almost no improvement at all. Like basically the progress was very and extremely minimal. And by minimal, I mean like, when I'm spinning the pin, sometimes the pin goes on top of my index fingers like it's supposed to, but majority of the time it still spins across my index finger. And even when I get the pin on top of my fingers like I need to, it will be very random. Like it will be all over the place on top of my finger. It could be on my pinky, my ring finger, on top of my backhand, like everywhere. It's just all over the place. And so with all of that, I spent another 30 minutes. So by now, the total is 1 hour so far. And this is what happened. By the 1 hour mark, I was able to catch the pin. And I don't know if you noticed, but in the clip, I was able to consistently get the pin to go on top of my index finger or my middle finger, or both at the same time. And I'm able to catch the pin more often now because of the consistency of the pin spinning on top of my middle or my index finger, as the pin needs to do. So I realized that there were several reasons as to why I was struggling so much with learning the Neo Bak, as in those two problems that I faced in the beginning of the video. And so here are the things that I learned from it and what I did to change it up to improve. So one of the problems was me getting the pin to spin on top of my fingers. So the main reason why that happens is because when I'm spinning the pin kind of spins like this, but then it hits and then comes off this way. And there's a couple reasons why. One is because when I'm spinning the pin, my middle finger is bent, but my index fingers kept pointing out, and so this encouraged the pin to spin on the side. Also, when I'm spinning the pin, I'm having it like slightly pointed down, and so it will just spin around like this. And so how I ended up fixing it was, when I'm spinning the pin, I have the pin very horizontal, and then I just flick my wrist, and then from there the pin will come up, and then I will keep both of my fingers flat like this, and then after that it will spin around, and then I'll just open it and then close. Once when I was able to get the pin to come on top of my fingers, it would spin all over the place, right? You could see the pin fly and spin here, or spin on top of my palm, or up here between my other fingers. And so that was one of the other problems I was facing, and so that caused the pin to drop a lot. And so what I ended up doing was I realized that it was the power of your flick or your spin, right? So I realized that the faster and harder I do it, the more the pin spins out of control, and I really don't have much control over the pin or guiding the pin because it's going so fast and so strong. And so what I ended up doing was I tried to like flick the pin, but I do it very gently, right? So let's say like if I do it gently, you could see that it spins right here and then it flies off because it loses momentum. But that's one of the things I ended up doing, was I adjusted the power until I found the one that was right. And once when I found it was right, I just kept practicing it until it became muscle memory, so I could use the same force so it could be consistent. And so by the end of it all, I was able to learn the Neo Bak, and it took me 2 hours and 36 minutes, and I dropped the pin 1,721 times. So if you enjoyed the video, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more future videos like this in the future. And like always, thanks for watching, and until next time.